proceeding with the day, or our next session of for the day at the conference is the keynote address. And to deliver the keynote address, we have with us Mr. Tom Pulucci, who is the global director for interiors at HOK, and he's joining us here today right from New York, USA. And it's an absolute privilege and an honor to have him join us on this platform. Before I pass on the screen to him, I'd like to give him a short, quick, brief and introduction about Tom's experience at the firm. And Tom's been the director for interiors at HOK, based out of New York. He oversees the firm's interior design teams across the world. Tom has more than 2 decades of experience guiding and inspiring the design for hundreds of interior projects. Educated and trained and licensed as an architect, his focus is on creating multidimensional experiential environments that enhance the lives of people who use them. He is a member of the IIDA's College of Fellows and has special expertise in workplace design. He's a frequent speaker on the topic and has been quoted in Workplace Stories in the New York Times, The Entrepreneur, the Wall Street Journal, Inc. magazine, the American Public Media's Marketplace, Metropolis Interiors and Sources, Contract, and the Chicago Tribune. With this, it's an absolute pleasure and privilege to pass on the screen to him. And Tom, you can take it from here.
It's an absolute pleasure to be with you all today and an honor to deliver this keynote address. I've been with HOK for over 23 years, and it gives me a unique perspective to have watched and participated in the firm's evolution. So today I'll share some thoughts with you regarding how we operate our practice and our projects to deliver exceptional design solutions that meet our clients' return on investment. I'll focus on the following: streamlining the design and execution process and what the strategies are, how we manage and maintain the various stakeholders' interests in the project, how we at HOK implement a variety of technologies to streamline design and documentation, post-occupancy evaluation, and a little bit about the culture at HOK. So let's get started. So first off, streamlining the process. Projects are moving at breakneck speed. Clients' needs evolve through the design process, and it's important that we get ahead of a client to anticipate what they require from design and engagement. It's not easy, but it's exhilarating. Here's a good story. We call it chasing the sun. Several years ago, we had an amazing opportunity to work with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to design KAUST, King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. It was an ambitious project to design 6 million square feet of space to be completed in 3 years. Due to the size, scale, and schedule, we developed teams across our global offices so that we could really work 24/7. Offices were assigned tasks and would complete them and pass the work to another office in a later time zone so that efforts could continue around the clock. HOK is fortunate to be able to collaborate like this. We have shared tools and processes that allow us to work seamlessly together. Collaborating in real time. We're using tools that enable the design team to work quickly and efficiently to iterate concepts and review with the client so that design decisions could be made in the moment. In this time, as we're working virtually due to the pandemic, we're working with Concept Board to gather ideas and design concepts in a singular cloud-based location and invite the clients into this virtual space where we can collectively add comments, bring additional imagery or statistical information to bear on an idea. Most important, it's a space where a designer can, in real time, mark up a drawing, draw and sketch with the client, and get to a decision faster than a typical process of working in the studio and then more formally presenting those ideas for feedback. So I'm going to pivot and talk a little bit about how we manage and maintain various stakeholders' interests in the project process. So many stakeholders are involved in the project process. Clients are many. We have end users, we have real estate leaders, we have the C-suite. First off is to focus on what these stakeholders are looking for. What are their expectations? We focus on initial phases of work, which are programming and visioning, to set the goals of a project. It is critical to get to a point that we have a common understanding, so we need to establish a common language to describe space, aesthetics, and needs. The programming and visioning give us insight into the organization, and it also creates an opportunity for alignment of the program and vision of a project amongst the various stakeholders. In order to accomplish all this, we need to share with our clients a variety of viewpoints from the diversity of expertise in different building and project types so that we can give our clients a holistic view of what is impacting the built environment and how we can bring new ideas to the process. Great example is how the work we do in healthcare influences the design and well-being aspect of a program for a corporate client. Today, we are designing more health centers into projects that support the well-being of our client's employee base. There are many entities involved in the project process, and it's becoming ever more important to understand their roles in the effort. Some work is design-build driven, so our client is the construction partner, working for an end user who's also the client. If a program manager is involved, they should be treated as a client. All these entities need to be treated as clients if we want to work with these partners again on another assignment. If the project is robust, we'll assign a number of people from HOK to focus on the variety of players. Project managers play a day-to-day role in communicating with construction management team, aligning with someone in a similar role on their side. Another PM from HOK might be assigned to handle internal matters of staffing and billing. The principal in charge is managing and maintaining a relationship with the CM leadership as well as the end user. A project architect is working closely in the field with the construction team, and the lead designer is working closely with the end user to ensure that the project design goals are being met. We spend a fair amount of time inside HOK to ensure that all project leaders understand what's happening with the various entities involved. For our corporate account clients, where we have a master service agreement and have teams delivering multiple projects, we assign a relationship manager working closely with the lead on the client side. That lead is usually the director of corporate real estate to ensure that HOK is delivering against client expectations and orchestrating a team to do the work. That team is led by an account manager. The role is established to direct and manage the work happening across the HOK platform, potentially working with other HOK office teams to design and deliver work locally. Our account managers are the boots on the ground. They are working as day-to-day contact with the client team and end users to ensure that program, budget, and schedule are being met. So I'm going to now talk a little bit about the technologies we use to streamline design and documentation. HOK has a great history of utilizing technologies to advance placemaking. When I started, I was working in HOK DrawVision, which was our own CAD program. HOK was very early adopters of BIM, and we put great focus on training staff to utilize the program. It was a watershed moment. The ability to coordinate in 3 dimensions all aspects of the built environment. It makes for a more efficient process with less waste of materials and better design solutions. And today, the ability to take these complex models, both on a mobile device or a web-based solution, means we can bring the work right into the field. All of the design and documentation tools we're using are really there also to support a robust quality management program at HOK. We use a program like Smartsheet to track action items as a team to ensure the work is getting completed as efficiently as possible. Technology is so important at HOK that we have a team dedicated to the custom development of tools, or they work closely with software developers to enhance products on the market to meet HOK needs. This translates to our ability to hone our practice to be thoughtful in our design and documentation. We're also interested in creative media, working with gaming technologies to create interactive visualizations, getting our work to as close to reality as possible for clients to experience in the design process. I'm going to change subjects now and talk a little bit about what happens after a project's completed and how we help to evaluate how the building or the space is performing for a client. So we call it post-occupancy evaluation. The design of buildings and interior environments are critical investments of our clients' time and money. We need to help ensure that these spaces are meeting their needs and can change over time and adapt to the future. This starts with the design itself. It is flexible, adaptable, and to be used in new ways that we can't predict. First, we look to base the design on a series of room types and sizes that could adapt to different uses. For instance, a private office could be remade into a huddle room with just a change in furnishings, as long as we've planned the appropriate infrastructure in the space. Or two of those private offices side by side could be made into a single larger room with the removal of a wall separating those offices. Now, this could be a larger office or a small conference room, as long as we've accounted for this possibility in the design. It's important to think of planning as master planning and looking at the components as a kit of parts to be assembled and reconfigured in a variety of ways. We might consider the use of a raised floor system so that infrastructure can be reconfigured to meet different program requirements. Also, the potential of demountable wall systems. These systems aren't widely utilized in the United States, but they're being adopted more and more. We also spend time following up with our clients after move-in. One way is to issue a post-occupancy survey to the occupants, see how the space and operational policies are working. We strive to get the program correct, supplying the client organization with the right number and variety of spaces to support their business. We want to know if that mix is right. If not, are there other options available, converting underutilized spaces into better functioning uses, suggesting better policies to ensure spaces are getting used properly. For instance, making sure that if a room is signed out for use, that it gets used. If a reservation system can recognize that the room isn't occupied, putting it back in the queue for others to use is important. To this end, we strongly suggest to clients that spaces have the right technology so they can be monitored for use, and if not in use, when available, to create the benefit of reducing impact on mechanical systems and saving energy. In fact, so much of our post-occupancy evaluation is concerned with the impact of building performance on the environment, making sure that it's a fine-tuned building will help to create is operating as efficiently as possible. In the US, both LEED and WELL are designed to ensure that optimizing the efficiency of a building, as well as the health and well-being of its occupants, is top of mind. We're responsible in the support of training building owners and operators in the optimal operation of a structure. At HOK, we're fortunate to work with a dedicated sustainability team with whom we consult on every project, help in devising those training programs. And our HOK culture encourages each designer to get LEED, WELL, and other certifications to promote sustainability and well-being in all design work. So lastly, I've been asked to talk about the culture at HOK, and it's our culture that defines how we practice as designers. First off, HOK supports a culture of inclusivity and respect. We are looking for a variety of varied viewpoints and experiences. This ensures that we are taking into account all possible design outcomes in the solutions we create. As an example, we've spent the past year studying how to design for neurodiversity. We have discovered that 1 out of 8 of all of us fall within the neurodiverse spectrum, which includes conditions as ADHD, dyslexia, autism, and others. Yet only 50% of us know that we fall into that spectrum. We need to recognize that space affects its occupant's performance, and we need to ensure that there are a variety of space types to support how we each process work and information differently. I love the fact that HOK supports this kind of research. It is informed by our staff. We relate to this information, and in turn, we want to make the world a better place for it. HOK is very collaborative. Design is a team sport. We work hard to create an open and positive workplace so that ideas from everyone can flourish. We believe in respecting one another and our partners so that the best possible solutions can happen. We want inventiveness, not just ideas that make better buildings, but also in the technologies we're influencing and the tools we utilize. We're interested in new technologies that can help us be more creative and efficient. Recently, we've partnered with the team at SaltMine to help our team streamline this iterative process we go through in design to show our clients many valid options as possible to do quickly in 3 dimensions, and working that way is critical. I believe we're going to see many cloud-based design tools in the near future, and we will get an idea into a 3D view of space either as a perspective or through virtual reality faster and better. It's exciting. We can dream up an idea and get to the point of seeing it in less time, and that's what clients want, and frankly, so do I. Thanks so much for having me this morning. It's been a treat for me. Please enjoy your conference.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tom Pulucci, for that delightful insight into the design processes and guiding principles of HOK's design teams and the firm in itself.